Ever heard of Phineas Gage and the stories surrounding his life? This 19th century railroad worker has become a staple in psychology textbooks worldwide. He's the man who survived a gruesome brain injury, a blasting rod shooting straight through his skull. The aftermath? A drastic personality change and an inability to function normally, or so the textbooks tell us. They paint a picture of a man transformed from a reliable, capable worker to an erratic, irresponsible social outcast. His tale has been a primary example that has been used in textbooks to illustrate the effects of brain damage on personality and behavior. But here's the thing, these accounts are often based on exaggerations and distortions. The dramatic narrative of Phineas Gage, the man forever altered by a freak accident, may not be as clear-cut as we've been led to believe. But how much of what we've been told about Phineas Gage is actually true? Let's dive into the real story of Phineas Gage and uncover the facts. In the mid-19th century, Phineas Gage, a railroad construction foreman, experienced an accident that would forever change our understanding of the brain. During a routine blasting operation, an iron rod shot through Gage's skull, causing a severe brain injury. Miraculously, he survived, but the event left him with significant damage to his frontal lobes, the area of the brain responsible for personality and behavior. Now here's where the truth differs from the tales. Many textbooks paint a picture of Gage as a man drastically changed, his personality warped beyond recognition, his life spiraling into ruin. However, recent historical analysis and new photographic evidence suggest a different story. Against all odds, Gage made a remarkable recovery. He didn't become a social outcast or a hopeless case as many narratives would have you believe. Instead, he adapted to his new circumstances and found a way to live a productive life. Gage moved to Chile, where he worked as a horse coach driver, a job requiring not only physical strength but also social interaction and responsibility. The real story of Phineas Gage isn't just about a man surviving a horrific accident. It's about resilience, adaptability, and the human spirit's capacity to overcome adversity. It's a testament to the brain's remarkable ability to heal and adapt, a concept now known as neuroplasticity. So why is it that many textbooks fail to mention his rehabilitation or provide the latest evidence on his injuries? Why do they perpetuate myths about Gage's life after the accident, potentially giving students a misleading and oversimplified understanding of the effects of brain damage? It turns out, the real Phineas Gage was more resilient and adaptable than most stories would have you believe. So why do many textbooks continue to paint a distorted picture of Phineas Gage? It's a question that leaves us scratching our heads. Textbooks, the supposed bastions of knowledge, are rife with inaccuracies when it comes to the story of Phineas Gage. They often present an oversimplified account of his life post-accident, perpetuating myths and overlooking key details like his remarkable recovery and subsequent employment as a horse coach driver in Chile. These inaccuracies are not just erroneous, they're harmful. When textbooks fail to accurately portray the complexities of Gage's case, they inadvertently provide a misleading understanding of the effects of brain damage. The oversimplification of Gage's condition may lead to misconceptions about the brain's resilience and the potential for rehabilitation post-trauma. It's not just about setting the historical record straight. It's about providing accurate and comprehensive information to the millions of psychology students who rely on these textbooks for their understanding of brain functions and injuries. It's clear that the story of Phineas Gage is often misrepresented, but why does this matter? In the 2015 article, What the Textbooks Don't Tell You About Phineas Gage, it asks, does any of this matter? Griggs argues strongly that it does. There are over 1.5 million students enrolled in introductory psychology courses in the US alone, and most of them are introduced to the subject via textbooks. We know from past work that psychology textbook coverage of other key cases and studies is also often distorted and inaccurate. Now we learn that psychology's most famous case study is also misrepresented, potentially giving a misleading, overly simplistic impression about the effects of Gage's brain damage. Think about the millions of students introduced to psychology through these textbooks. Each one begins their journey into the human mind with an understanding built on the knowledge these books provide. What happens then when these foundational texts are peppered with inaccuracies? The consequences can be profound as students' perceptions of the subject are skewed from the outset. Consider the case of Phineas Gage. Distorted accounts of his life and recovery can lead to a misleading and oversimplified view of brain damage and its effects. This not only affects students' understanding of a key case study, but also their broader comprehension of neurological injuries. The impact of these inaccuracies extends beyond the classroom. The students of today are the psychologists, neurologists, and therapists of tomorrow. Misinformation in their education can perpetuate myths and misunderstandings in these fields for years to come. The importance of accurate representation in textbooks cannot be overstated. These books should provide a comprehensive, truthful understanding of the subject, not propagate misconceptions. The story of Phineas Gage serves as a reminder of the need for accuracy in educational resources. After all, a half-truth can be more misleading than a lie.